I really appreciate that. You know, you come on to talk about a video game and you end up learning life lessons. So, uh, hey everybody, welcome back to the KDA. We're going to be doing something a little bit different today. We're going to be doing an interview. We've done those in the past, but they've been audio. The last one, I believe, we had Potato on. Previously, we had It Stewart. Today, I have the Bear with me. The Bear plays support for the competitive team Dark Disciples Esport. They're currently looking for a coach. So if you're a coach out there and you're interested, let us know. I'll put Bear's information down in the description. He is currently D2, and he's played League for a long time. So he domin. I think he's grandmaster,
Oh, in League? No, Master.
master. Okay, I never peaked, so I don't look at rank. Um, but yeah, welcome, man. So tell me about like Dark Disciples and what that's been like for you trying to move into the competitive scene.
It's a little difficult. We just started. So we're doing like the small weekly Twitch team liquid tournaments, just to kind of get our name out there. Last week we missed it, so this week hopefully we can kind of get everybody's sorry, my dog's whining. We can hopefully get everybody's schedule intact. The hardest part is we don't get paid to do this yet, so um, you know, people still go to school. People like me and a couple other people have a job, so it's hard to um, justify like spending a lot of time in something that we're not going to get much out of immediately. So that's the difficulties we coming in now is trying to get everybody on the same page, the same schedule, and find people that have the same drive to do something more with this than just a hobby.
I I completely understand. I've had to put in a lot of extracurricular work. I mean, I work 50 to 60 hours a week and then come home and try to video edit or audio edit or figure out ideas for podcasts, social networking, and all that stuff. And a lot of that stuff is skills that I've had to learn and acquire. Like, I had Facebook and MySpace growing up, so Twitter and
I
Instagram.
yep.
It's difficult, and it's a thankless job potentially. I don't know if that's the right word that I want to use, but there's a lot of stuff that you don't know what goes into it until you're doing the background work yourself. Um,
Yes.
so it's awesome to see that you guys are actually working towards that, and I would imagine it's a little bit more difficult when you have that adult life trying to coordinate everybody's schedule to be able to scrim, to be able to look at. I don't know if it's LAN tournaments or if it's over the internet.
It's over the internet.
Okay,
I don't
uh,
know if any LAN tournaments yet.
I want to see some come here. They just had the Purge tournament, or it might still be going on over in Europe, which is I believe it's LAN. I know Horizon Cup's going to be LAN, but I would definitely love to see some more NA focused content or competitions come up.
Yeah.
Um, so I came across your post on Reddit looking for a coach for the tournaments. Um, how's that process going? What are you doing to? Are Did you put like a flyer out on ZipRecruiter, or was it just
No, I don't even know anything about that. The frustrating thing is I don't want to manage the team I want to play, and the person who's trying to manage isn't great at managing. So I kind of started taking a little bit under my belt, a little bit more. So as far as finding a coach, the red post was the only thing I did. I don't know any other ways. I haven't done a lot of research about it as far as finding the coach. I mean, I've done Fiverr and stuff like that, but like most coaches that would coach require payments, and until we start getting our name out there known, getting sponsors and stuff like that, it's going to be pretty much a pro bono um, job at this point.
what? Do you know what you're looking for that coach or potential coach to do?
I mean, just someone, because like I could easily coach the team, but like in the moment, it's hard to justify it knowing that I'm a player and it's I don't want to be biased in essence. Even though I know I won't, it could come across or be perceived as I'm being biased, and it probably easily could be why I'm just like criticizing my own in my head, but not out loud doing it. And everybody could be like, "Well, you're never wrong," and I'm like, "Well, no, I am," but I don't make it known. So we just need that person to like to watch the videos, listen to the comms, and just honestly, I mean, I'm gonna be blunt here, just call us out on bullshit because a lot of us are good enough to know what and what we cannot do. And honestly, if we make a mistake and the person calls us out on it, be like, look, you messed up here, um, plain and simple. And people need to be like, okay, well, you're not a player. I'll take that into justification. Sorry, that's the ball. I'll take that in consideration that you are not just saying it for your own um, benefit in essence. You know what I'm saying? Trying to cover your own butt, trying to get away. You messed up here, but um, you're just saying that I messed up here because it's just a whole thing. It's just to prevent a lot of conflict. So ultimately, just looking for someone to watch the reviews, tell us what we're doing wrong, tell us how to improve as a team, not just solo queue mentality, but as a team. Maybe understand team comps, buffs, nerfs, and be like, you know what? Hey, Kaisa got nerfed this time. You can't one tricker anymore. You got to practice. They buff. I don't know what they didn't buff any AD carry. They nerfed Akshan. They nerfed
Zaya got a
Akali or
pretty
what?
nice. Zaya got a pretty decent buff, like not like
Oh,
a pre patch.
yeah. But it's just like stuff like that, to where like something that could slip our minds could, if you're a top 200 Zaya and they get nerfed, you're like, well, now what am I going to do? So that's in essence, that's the coach's perspective. Be like, you know what, can't do that no more. You got to practice this person they got buffed. You got to practice this person they got buffed. Kind of more or less tell us what to do and how to properly function as a team. In essence, work on communication, work on team comps, and just point out errors we make so we don't make them again.
Yeah, steer the ship, but let you do your job.
Yes.
Gotcha. So one of our previous guests on the show, Potato, extremely nice guy. He's over in Lithuania in the European scene, and he coaches one of the higher up competitive teams. Um,
He actually messaged me the other day
oh, really?
on Discord. Yeah, when you said Potato earlier, I was like, I know Potato.
Yeah, I gave him your information to ask if he knew anybody who was in North America looking for coaching. I'm glad he reached out. He does a lot of pro guides coaching too, so pretty good reviews. But I asked him, I was like, hey, I'm looking at starting this own little side project of mine. What do I need to do to be able to look into coaching someone else? And he said, you got to make sure you find one that fits your team. Someone that'll be friendly but strict when needed to be, and they'll never make players feel bad. Don't insult them and don't shame them. Chances are, when that player screws up, they know they screwed up. It's not like Sven getting flash and got caught out and cost TSM their shot at Worlds or whatever, and he did.
Yeah,
You know,
I remember
you
that.
know, I think it's more about your macro play, your team cohesion. So that's what I would personally look for. Um, I go back to League of Legends because that's our wealth of knowledge
Yeah.
to be able to pull from a professional scene, because the Wild Rift scene is so new, and TSM is my favorite team. But years ago, they had a problem. They had really, really bad mental. They could not gel
Hmm.
together, so they brought in Weldon as their sports psychologist, and it's like running team-based drills turn their gameplay around entirely. So it just shows that you can have the best players in the world, but if they can't work together, they're not going to achieve anything.
Exactly.
Okay. Something that not a lot of people have experience in. Well, I'm sure there's a lot of people that might be in a similar position to you that play this game. But you were a sailor in the Navy, so thank you for your service. But do you think that
Appreciate it.
being as a sailor in the Navy, or maybe in the military in general, affects the way that you play League of Legends or Wild Rift?
Um, as what I did in the Navy um, had nothing to do with leadership as far as like my main job, but I had a lot of collateral jobs where I was team lead for a lot of things like Surf Alpha, VBSS, a lot of acronyms in the military. Um, but basically a SWAT team for my ship, SWAT team to go board other ships if, pirates came about. And I was a team lead for that. And I mean, there's times where I've pointed a live gun at somebody and you know, there's that mindset of like, I either pull the trigger, or I don't, and that's not an easy mindset to have. A lot of, there's a lot of things coming to your head at once. You're sitting there, you're like, it's split second decisions, and as far as like being in the military, if my team's around me, I expect them to have my back no matter what. I expect them to do their roles, their job, and they need to know how to do my job. I need to know how to do their job in case one of them goes down, in case I go down. Someone has to pick up, someone, everybody knows what to do. And so as far as coming into league and as far as like I'm a support on my team and I am the more dominant shot caller. And what I like to say is I tell everybody's playing chess or checkers, I'm playing chess. I'm trying to figure out how to end this game while y'all are figuring out 30 seconds on the next dragon. So my thing is, I'm like, we gotta be the 45 seconds early. We gotta sweep. We gotta get vision. We're gonna sit in the bush. We're gonna try and get a pick. We gotta do this. Gotta do this. While the person's, I'm already thinking about that when there's, a minute and a half left on dragon, and I'm already trying to be like, hey, let's shove out bot lane. Let's shove out mid lane. Let's drop tail. Let's do this. And a lot of it that just comes just from me just wanting to be in charge in essence. And I mean, when you go to military, you go to the boot camp, you go to do all this stuff. They put you in stressful situations that really aren't stressful, but they're doing that just to test stress you. And so, I mean, people yell in your face, people scream at you, people spit in you. You're doing push-ups for no reason. You're doing all this stuff for no reason at all. But like, ultimately, they 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 degrade you. They take you down to level 0, and then they build you up. And
So that
so,
sounds like solo queue.
yeah, solo queue is just it's horrible. It's just like you're playing solo queue, and then like you play solo queue with the same people, and then you have one person in the background yelling at everybody about the mistakes, telling them how horrible they are. I'm trying not to cuss. How horrible they are, how garbage they are, how trash they are, and then the people finally just get tired of hearing it, and then they just like start playing better because they're actually like listening to the guy, and then now you're a cohesive unit, and that's really what it is. Is I'm trying to figure out everybody else's play style and how I can cooperate, how I can mesh that into our overall objective of the goal. Because in the military, you're going to have someone from different backgrounds, different the way they say things, the way they articulate things, the way they comprehend things, or the whole like it's. I could call you a jerk, and it may be funny to you, but it could be offensive to someone else. So you have to take everything into consideration. But at the end of the day, you gotta perform one main objective, and that is either neutralize the threat or go do whatever you do got to do on the ship. Go finish the mission with everybody from all different cultures, all different backgrounds. So as far as coming into the league and being like the main shot caller, it just comes natural at this point. A lot of girls I talk to, they love it. I have a dad voice. I'm a very high pitched, very happy person, but when shit hits the fan and someone needs to knock it out, my voice booms and it's very loud and very demanding, and it's just there, and it's hard to just like not hear it in essence. And so when it comes to shot calling in the game, it's just I tell people we're all grouping here. I need you to back. Are you buying TP boots? No, I don't have TP boots. Okay, walk your happy ass down here. We're getting this dragon. We're going to force a 4v5. We're going to gank. We're going to go here. Well, what about the top lane and whatever it is? Well, then that's their loss. Like if they're going to get first tower, that's okay. We're going to get dragon. We're going to go rotate rift. We're going to push down. We're going to get another tower. We're going to open up mid. And I'm already like 5 steps ahead where someone's like, well, I don't want to lose my tower. I don't care. We're getting 2 towers mid. We're getting dragon. We're getting rift. We're getting buffs. We're getting mountain. We're getting cloud. We're getting movement speed. We're getting whatever it is. It's more beneficial. I've already taken into account losing tower. It's okay. And that's at that point where the team is, we're getting better at just listening to the overall objectives and being like, you know what, you understand what's going on. You understand the consequence and you already weighed that out and we're figuring it out. So
Yeah, it's that risk versus cost assessment. I might give up first tower, but we're securing significant more gold through bonus stats and things that aren't seen. Um,
yep.
and I feel like there are two roles that really knowledgeable about the game. Jungle, just because you have to
Mm-hmm.
understand everybody else's matchup and your own. and then support, because support handles all the, or most of the vision, most of the things that you don't have to think about when you're playing that one versus one matchup in mid.
Yep.
Mid lane, top lane, AD carry, they're playing their opponent. Um, like support, jungle, really support is playing the map. Hey everybody, we're back. Sorry, I suck at technology. Um, so Bear's still with us. I don't. Is that your in-game name? If it sounds, I just don't know if like calling you Bear is what I should call you.
So so everybody has story behind their gamer names, right? So in my high school, there's a lot of Jordans. So everybody called me Tyrion, which is my last name, Tyrion. Well, there's a Jerica who was named Jerbear. There's a Kara who was named Care Bear, which is where it came from. So because Jerica, Jerbear sounded like Tyrion, which is Tear Bear, so that was very demasculating. So instead of my gamer name being Tear Bear, it just became the Bear. And
Yeah.
so people call me Bear, people call me the Bear. That's where it came from. And it's very odd, but I like it.
Gotcha. Hey, you know what? I understand. I just wasn't sure. So before the stream cut out, we were discussing about how you being in the Navy might affect the way you play the game, and you were bringing up some really good points that maybe would correlate directly. You said the Navy is very split second decision making, and I don't want to put the emphasis on League of Legends like it is more than a game, but it's a strategy game, and it does take those quick second, interactions where a whole game can be lost from one play in
Yeah.
a matter of 1 second, just somebody being caught out in a wrong position, and that leads that snowball back.
Well, it's not even really caught out. It's just keeping track of things too, like understanding what level people are, understanding if someone used flash or ignite or exhaust, or if someone built even redemption boots or locket boots in Wild Rift. I'm talking about Wild Rift now, but like understanding those timers, and as a support, if people tell me that, I got to keep a mental track, and if I make a decision saying, hey, the AD carry doesn't have flash, and I make that call knowing that he doesn't have flash, and I land that hook or he flashes out, then that could change the whole fight. If that AD carry or whoever it is that I'm like, I can hook because they don't have flash, I can flash in and flay them if they don't have flash and they have flash, or they went back and bought zoning boots and I didn't know about it. Little things like that can make a huge difference. And so it's very attention to detail and very like in the heat of the moment. If a fight's happening, I have to be like, this person used alt, this person did that, this person's Zonias, this person's a carry, they're low, they don't have flash. I can make a play, give a lantern if I'm playing touch, give a lantern, flash in, flag, bring my carry, and all of a sudden I run their backline, destroying the backline because they already used Zonias, they already used all their alts, they already used all their moves. There's no exhaust, there's no redemption. It's split second decisions, and just like seeing what's going on. It's huge.
Yeah, something that you brought up there ha- makes me reflect back on the old days of League of Legends when you were you were timing Dragon, you were
Yeah. Yep.
timing Flash, you were typing in chat 506 Dragon Spawn because we didn't.
Yep.
Um, and I think that might make you more hyper aware of how long that flash is going to be down for, as opposed to, okay, I'm guessing it's been about time where it's still down, and
Mm-hmm.
that second literally could be the difference in the play being made or not.
Yep.
Um, I play jungle mainly, except for when I get frustrated because I suck at the game, and then I go play support. What I notice a lot is in solo queue, a lot of people will just kind of stand around and poke each other out, and no one does anything, especially when it's on my team, and no one does anything, and we just lose. But when you have that person that's going to engage, play that Alistar and get maybe the flash Q or the flash pulverize or whatever, that initial engage, when you have somebody to pull that trigger, everybody tends to respond and follow in. So if you're somebody that maybe might struggle with your mechanics, but you feel that your macro knowledge or your game knowledge is better than average, try playing support. It sucks not being able to carry, especially when your AD carry sucks. Um, but just do like Alicopter does on League of Legends. Roam the map and forget that you have an AD carry.
I'm not at one of my biggest things I can tell somebody, especially from a support perspective. Me playing Thresh or even Alistar, or I mean just any other like engaged tank Braum. If your AD carry stinks, if your AD carry is lackluster, if you guys just aren't meshing, you're like, dude, this guy is just like he's playing with his left hand, just not really there yet. You got to find the person who is your win con. If your mid lane's popping off, I'm not gonna lie, sorry to carry, you're gonna get dove right and left, but my mid lane is gonna pop off, and then that's where like hopefully you can bring your jungler on, or even then if you do it, like you got to look at like, you know what, if my AD carry dies bot lane, but I can roam up and get Herald, and then we can pop Herald top lane, and then we get our top lane ahead. You're spreading the wealth in essence. You're enabling, and as a support, you're an enabler. Whether you're heal, you're peel, whether you're playing Janus, Soraka, Sona, Braum, Thresh, Alistar, you're enabling something. Whether if you're just Janet, you're playing shield, and the whole team jumps on your AD carry and you knock them off. You're enabling your AD carry to get space. You're enabling your AD carry not to die. You're enabling your AD carry to do things, or your carry, whether it's mid or top, whatever. So to be an engaged support is not being an enabler. Enablers all support roles. So as when I play support, I think how do I enable us to win the game? Because unless I'm playing Lux, you're not going to take CS. Don't be that guy. If you can get the kill to someone, get the kill to someone. If you need a secure kill. I'm all about it. I play Brand, Frygard. Trust me. I'll walk up and all somebody they die, and I'm like, okay, now it's a 4v5. I'll take it. But I'm enabling my team at that point. I'm taking out one person. So as a support, you're an enabler. You got to enable your carries. And to be honest, there are games that you just can't win. And you can't sit back and be like, damn, F my team, F that, this is stupid, I'm done with this. No, hop at, either watch your VOD and be like, you know what, I obviously have ways I need to improve upon. What could I have done better? How could I have won that, made that game turn into my favor more or less, And if you recognize things, cool. But don't look at losses as in like it's a negative thing. Look at losses as positive. I can get better. I can do better. And if you're masters and you drop down to emerald, who cares? Who really cares? Get better and you won't drop down anymore. So that's my thing. Enable your team to do better. And if you can't do that, figure out how you could have done that. And if there's no other way, some games just aren't winnable. And you just can't get mad. You just can't get upset. You can't get over that. Just be confident in your own play style and just go on to the next one.
See, I wish I had your mental because I don't. uh, there are a lot of really good points that you brought up. I feel like with support, you're able to, before stream we were talking, and you don't really like playing with people that autofill.
Yep.
But with that support role, you have the flexibility to kind of round out the team composition. If the enemy playing team has like a Kinnan and Irelia, Rakan, all these things that Malphite or whatever, this dive composition, play something to negate that. Play a Janna, play something that's going to knock them away. If Kinnan's going to come in on the flank and you can Alistar headbutt him away while he's popped his ultimate, you're probably going to win that team fight and save that game.
Yep.
You might have a 0 or 1-12 and 36 score, and you might not get recognized on the end screen, but you carried the game in a way that no one else could have in that position.
I tell people I play with, my duos, I tell my trios, whoever I play with, some games I'm 6-1 and 12 as Thresh. Some games is like, yeah, I'm 99.99% better than all Thresh and Diamond, whatever, Masters. Yeah. But to be honest, I rarely get S's. I rarely get A's sometimes because I die a lot. And the reason why I have like a 4-8 and 21 score is because I rather die and ruin my KDA, but win the game.
Yep.
I'm not saying be reckless. I'm not saying force stuff. I take calculated, very high percentage plays, but there are times my AD carry is just like dead, and I give him a lantern, he comes to me, and I just pop ult, I pop lock, and he runs away, and I flay them, and I try to hook somebody. I'm like, I'm taking this L for you, man. But all of a sudden the dragon comes up, I'm dead. They all have to back because they're relatively decently low, or they don't have cooldowns because they waste it all. They waste cooldowns, I die. That's fine. We get a dragon off that, and that's you gotta look at the pot. That in my head, it's a higher percentage play because I'm playing chess while everybody else playing checkers.
Yep. A lot of times, I guess there's so many avenues that we could go down. When somebody has this is factual in League of Legends. I don't know if they've changed it in the last couple of years, but eventually the more deaths you have, the less gold that you're worth per.
Yep.
Um, so if your AD carries like 0 and 9, 5 minutes into the game, abandon them because they're worth gold.
Yeah. Yeah. Sorry, dude. You're a minion at this point. You're a mobile ward. Okay. You are bait.
Yep.
And that's the biggest thing. It's what I'm trying to teach my AD carry. This is a great transition to something that I recently learned is your teammates may suck. Your teammates may be horrible. Use that. You can use that. Let them engage the fight. Let the enemy, you don't have to follow them in. You can kind of stay in the background, see how it plays out. But if they want to go in and be like, oh, report him, he's empty. No, they're using moves. They're using summer spells. They're using ignites. They're using exhaust. He's going in and doing something, whether it's the owner uses her stun, whether it's the owner uses her ult. Something's being done. Utilize that to the best that you can be. Okay, Leona has no wall. That's huge. Or the rest has no hook. And you didn't land it. So now it's an 8-second cooldown. That's huge. Like we have 8 seconds where we can go in and not be scared of getting hooked for a second and a half. Because they use it on this person. Someone can be 0 and 12. I don't care if they're going in and they're causing them to use moves and they're causing them to have cooldowns. Oh yeah, we're following up on that. We're capitalizing on our 0-12 Yasuo.
Hopefully they bought Zonia's or stop. No, I guess it's not stopwatch. Zonia's, and you just draw even more ultimates out on that
Yeah.
dead. The other thing I was going with, if anybody ever plays with me and I'm playing support, and it's at this point where you are carrying the game, and maybe you're out of position, and I'm coming to save you, and we're at a point where either I die or we both die, abandon me. Do not turn around. Just keep going.
So I have gotten to points like that. I did have an AD carry that I played a lot. I cannot. There's one point where we both could have got out, but we knew that if we both turned and flashed at the same time and we both trust each other to do the moves that we had to do, we were going to kill that person. And I can't tell you, you find the synergy with people, and we both literally, like, without even talking, without communicating, we were both right about at the enemy's mid tower. We were running backwards at the first tier tower. We both immediately, it's crazy. Without thinking, it was like telepathic. Boom. We both flashed at the exact same moment. I landed the hook. He did the Draven Axe. He spun them out. I flayed them. I pop locked it. It was crazy. It went from 100 health zigs to nothing. And it was like stuff like that you just can't teach. You just can't coach. You can't do anything like that. But at the same time, like if you're a support main, which is what I was going to say earlier too, every role has a different ability to carry games. And to be honest, unfortunately, League of Legends, Wild Rift is not equal in all roles. You as a support cannot go up front against a Darius as Fed. Sorry. So you have to utilize everything the best way you can play your role better. And to be honest, as support, find a good duo you mesh with. You lose games, you win games. Find someone who doesn't tilt. Find someone who has a drive to get better. Find someone who takes constructive criticism better. Find someone who tells you constructive criticism. But as a support, to help you enable to win games, find an A carry, find a mid lane, find someone reliable. Because as a support, if you're playing Braum, sorry, you cannot solo carry games. And so as far as the top lane, you can run Phase Rush, Ghost Darius, and just run in enemy team, just heal for days, just start getting stacks, and everybody starts killing everybody. That's unfair if you're a support main, right? It's not, or if you're a top lane, you find a jungle duo who just camps your lane and just gets you really fed, just focuses on you. That's as a solo support, you're like, what can I do? You can't do anything. It's unfair. You got to find to be better. Utilize that. The duo queue, utilize the trio queue, utilize the 5-man. Like, that's crazy. Like, League of Legends got away with 5-mans like years ago. We have it now. You can climb. You can get better. You just, if your sole goal is to climb, 5-man. Wait that 20 minutes for the queue. Wait that 30 minutes for the queue. 5-man. But, you know, every role has perks. Every role has disadvantages. And as support, you have the most disadvantage as far as decent perks. To equalize out that disadvantage, you got to find someone that you can play with, that you can protect, that you can depend upon. And unfortunately, league's unfair in all rules. That's how you can even it out,
And that's something that you were talking about when you brought up that synergy you had with that person you were playing with. Um, Extremely important because you get to understand, okay, I've seen this person go aggressive in this situation before. I can go aggressive. They'll follow up on that. I trust them to do that. And we can draw from other video games to kind of, look at that as maybe a reference point. At one point, World of Warcraft had like 40-man raids. So if you can get
Yeah.
40 people online to come together to clear objectives, you can get 2 people to do the same thing. Heck, you can get 5 people to do the same thing. Um, so that's awesome. I know I have a lot of people who had reached out to me about potential coaching, want to get help for the support role. So I'm glad that you're on, and I can be like, hey, watch this and see what this guy has to say about climbing in Wild Rift as a support.
Yeah, I mean, if anybody ever, I mean, they have my information down in the description. Anybody can honestly reach out to me. I'm an overall friendly guy. I'm not gonna lie, I'm pretty blunt. I'm pretty straight to the point. If you don't like constructive criticism, I'm sorry. I'm gonna tell you you're effing up. I'm gonna tell you you're dying too much. I'm gonna tell you how it is. You can either take that information and roll with it, or you can take that information and tell me I'm wrong. But at the end of the day, it doesn't bother me.
I appreciate the text message telling me how bad I am at streaming when the stream went down. Appreciate it. That's a joke, everybody. That's a joke. Um, so moving on through the questions, we spoke a couple times in Discord, and I think you actually answered this question earlier. You said you have a pretty commanding voice, a pretty loud voice that when you speak, people tend to listen. Would you say that you're typically the team captain, or you're going to be like the shot caller? Are people listening to you in your what you're?
it's it's never it's never designated. Let me put it that way. When you hop on a team and you play a normal game and no one says who's going to be shot, that's not the first question everybody does. Everybody's like, "Oh, you guys like to play? Who do you like to play?" But you're going to find out that if you're on a team and no one really steps up and says, "Hey, we're doing this. Hey, we're going here." Hey, if no one does that, you can't coach somebody to do that. You can't. It just. I mean, it could come with age. In essence, I don't know. I could be speaking outside of my experience, my level, but like every team I've been on, whether it's prior military, I mean, after military, it's improved dramatically. But before the military, I'm a very loud, outspoken person because I'm so competitive and wanting to win. And it's good when you have people who just sit back and do as they're told, or they sit back and they listen, they trust you. I'd rather have the whole team make a mistake than one person make a mistake while everybody else does something right. Because at the end of the day, it doesn't matter. One person should not go for Baron while the whole team goes for Baron, and then that one person dies and the whole team gets Baron. I'd rather have everybody make a mistake or everybody commit. I'd rather have that team synergy than the split.
Yeah, you're
And
only as strong as your weakest link.
yeah, and as far as like my voice, my shot calling, it's always been. I mean, I've always enjoyed just. I mean, I like outsmarting people. I like doing better. I've always played Lee Sin growing up. I've always played Call of Duty. I like just listening to people rage, and I just fester on. I love it, right? So when I can outsmart someone else, or when I can outsmart the whole team, and my whole team trusts me to do that, oh yeah, I will. We're doing this. We're doing this. We're doing this. We're pushing on mid. Hey, should I pop Rift? No, we're saving Rift for next Dragon. We're going from Dragon. We're going straight to Rift. Oh, you're getting top crab right now? Right. Hey, 80 carry. We're gonna go sit in river. We're gonna put a ward down. We're gonna make sure the jungler's not getting crab. When they're going, we're moving. Mid, you're coming down. Mid, you're doing this. And I'm already talking that by the time we're walking out of the fountain. And so it's just a lot of that just will come natural to most people. And you can learn it. It's very hard to learn. It's very difficult if you're just a very quiet, introverted person. But like having somebody like that on your team with just a very just goal orientated, how do I win this game, step by step process, procedure wise, like that's something that like is essential in every team. Whether it's a jungle, whether it's a mid lane, TSM had Bjergsen. He was their person for the longest time, and So that's the thing, is like it doesn't necessarily rely upon one role. It just relies upon the person that has the most capacity to be able to be like, I'm thinking this while I can do this, and this is how you win this game, and I'm going to tell everybody how to do it, and everybody else needs to be like, okay,
Yep.
you know.
Yeah, and that's one of those what is that Spider-Man quote, with great power comes great responsibility. So
Yeah.
I would imagine your people have to trust you, and that doesn't come easy. Trust versus fear. So
And to
um,
be honest, it is stressful when I'm in a position. I say we can go for Barinham. They're like we can end, and I'm like, at that point, I'm like, I'm the shot caller, and it's not egotistical or anything like that. It's not. I can confidently say that, and I've talked to my team about it a lot. When I make a call and someone goes against that call, I will think about that call for a split second. If I say no, we're doing this, we're being safe, we're doing this, we're risking it. It doesn't matter at that point. Your secondary call does not matter. And I'm not trying to be an egotistical. My call is the priority call. There's times where I'm like, hey, let's go to bed. Like, we can end. I'm like, let's end, or yeah, they have 40-second death timers. You know what? Of all the things I was looking at, I'm thinking about Baron. How can we safely end the game? I did not see that. Good point. And we're running down mid and we're ending the game. There are times where I'm wrong and I can understand that. But there's also times where it's just like people, you have to be able to accept the question. And that's one thing the military also taught me too is questioning everything, questioning command, questioning everything. If someone says don't do this, be like, why? And that's the biggest thing. And you're not trying to. I have to, as a leader, I have to understand they're not questioning my leadership. They're not questioning my calls. They're not questioning anything like that. They're just saying, hey, we could do this, and then that's just me being like, that wasn't an option, or me being like, you know what, I did think about that. We're still doing this no matter what. And then that's when they'll be like, okay, yeah, you call it, we're doing it. And it is stressful knowing that I could have made the right call, I could have made the bad call. You said earlier, Spence Guerin on Ezreal, flashing it, not flashing it, but shifting in, and then the whole team, flashes on them. I guarantee you he's not the shot call on the team, but I guarantee you, like, he made that call on his own, or he was walking around, but he understood he made the wrong call and it cost his team the game. And as a shot caller, you have to think that if this call I make, it could win or lose us the game. That's a lot of stress upon me. And that's where, if you do have a shot call on your team, or you're not the shot caller, you listen to someone, you just got to listen to them, because they're already in a stressful environment. There are already 5 billion things going through the mind at once. You got to be like, you know what? I don't need to add to that. I need to somehow help alleviate that. So if he calls this, I'm doing it. I'm blindly following him, because if you don't, or if you're questioning it, it just spins everything into a haywire, and it's not beneficial in essence.
you could almost say it's biblical in a sense. A house divided will not stand. So
Yep.
uh, a lot of people, I would imagine, kind of don't do any extracurricular work when it comes to Wild Rift or League of Legends. I notice when I play like an assassin or whatever, I have to get into that mindset of how am I going to assassinate this person. So it's like a different mindset. So
Yep.
you can pull real life strategies into video games. One of the most well known books is Sun Tzu's The Art of War.
Yep.
The Art of War is deception. So if you can make your, like, type in all chat, hey, my team sucks, I'm going to sit in fountain, GG. And then next thing you know, you show up because they don't have any vision, and you flank somebody and you pick up a kill or whatever. I mean, it's lying, but it's not against the rules, I don't think.
So I'm not a big liar like that. That's only a one-time deception. So I'm going to hit on 2 points here. You said you're playing assassin. When I play assassin, my mindset is hide and seek. My mindset is hide and seek. Their AD carry, their carry is hiding, and I'm it. And I gotta, if my team's fighting and they can't see me because I'm in a bush and I have a sweeper and I know where I'm at, it's not warded, I'm hiding. And how can I, he's hiding from me, how can I seek him out? The fight's happening, I got to go target him. As assassin, that's your job, that's your thing. Is you don't want to wait, you don't want to engage the fight. You're not an engager, you're an assassin. You kill people by backstabbing them, essentially, right? You wait for all the chaos to happen. You're like, Ziggs, you don't have a Zonius anymore, I'm coming in as Zed, what's up? And the whole time Ziggs like, where'd you come from? I didn't. He's like, I found you. And then also you said um the deception. right? I'm not gonna lie, I hate it. It's a scumbag move. But when I'm playing support and there's an AD carry and he's just doing horrible, I 100% type question mark. After like two unreasonable deaths, I'm like question mark, like you okay? And everybody, and sometimes I get a response. Support's like, no, my AD carry's trolling, and I'm like, you know what, man, I'm sorry, I'll report. And every time he died, every time after that AD carry dies after that, I'm like, yo, sorry about that, Lucian, man. Like, it's just one of those games, and now it's a game against them. Not only are we playing them, we're playing them versus them. And it's unfortunate on how easy that can really turn the tides because they could have a late game scaling comp but if you just get in their heads early, if you just start making them tilt early, that mental games win games. Not really. And it's hard with the language barrier in essence because some people whatever, but at the same time, like, yeah, you can really like if you play it right, you can win the game even though you're supposed to lose it by stats and character by champs. Like you can win it just off mental alone.
Yeah, that's 100% right, and I'm glad you brought that up because when I play jungle, I'll play something aggressive, a Lee Sin or a new. Nunu's aggressive in a different way with like counter and stuff. But if you can get in there and you can tilt the enemy team by making their jungler look dumb, everybody likes to flame the jungler as it is anyway. So if you're like jungle diff or whatever, you tilt them the crap out of the game. But I will add people afterwards. They'll be like, "Hey, man, no hard feelings, all that stuff. You did fine. This is where you could work on." No, that's not you. You're not going to do that.
No.
You just
I just move on to the next game.
drop the bomb and just walk away.
I'm not gonna lie. If I'm catching people out, even though I'm better than them, then I don't need to add them afterwards and be like, "Hey, man, sorry I sit on you." Like I'm not trying to rub salt in the room.
Oh, no, not like that. I mean, like, hey, don't worry about your teammates flaming you, especially if like I'm smurfing or something, and I completely destroyed the other opponent. I'm like, hey, don't worry about it. You'll get better. Just keep grinding. Um, but I don't know. I don't know. Yeah, I'm not gonna crap on somebody after I crapped on them in game. That's not really
Yeah, I know.
fair. Um, so you stream on Twitch. There's not a lot of like saved VOD reviews. You're up to 2,500. What's that been like? What do you plan on doing with Twitch?
So I started streaming way back in the day when I played League. When I was like peeking out, I was coaching people. I used it as a tool. I was sitting in barracks all day, and I would come home from school from the Navy stressed out, and I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna play some video games and just hang out with people. People wanted me to do scary streams. I did scary streams on Halloween, and I punched my bed. I was freaking out. I got good with jump scares, and I did it as an entertainment purpose and learning purpose and educational purpose. I would teach people how to kite, how to jungle, how to play Graves, Karthus. I would watch people's VODs. I'd be like, hey, you messed up here. You should do this. That's kind of like a mini niece, kind of like just trying just to get out there a little bit, just try to help anybody I can. I'm a very helpful person, and that's really where it was. Not a lot of VOD reviews. I haven't streamed quad probably about in like a year or so. Just kind of just been hanging out. I recently taken, my computer's being rebuilt. And I could put it back together, but I'm enjoying not being glued to my computer 24/7. And it's quite refreshing, quite nice. It's a nice little oasis. But yeah, I enjoyed bringing the entertainment to people, and a lot of that's where that came from way back in the day.
Yeah, I don't know. I've never been like a streamer or whatever, so trying to figure out all this stuff has been a new challenge for me. I did a lot of YouTube back in the day as far as like music goes, but nothing really ever in like a video medium. But I wish I would have been more serious with it when I was younger because I really do enjoy creating content. And I would have those years of experience now that I'm trying to catch up in my 30s as opposed to being able to do it in
Yeah.
my 20s.
And just me personally talking to you is people will catch on if this is something you're genuine about. You can see people that fake it, and you can see people that are really, really just want to do it. And not only do you really want to have to do it, but you got to make it entertaining too. Don't get me wrong. The saying goes, "What do you do with a drunken sailor?" I have many drunk streams where I'm singing karaoke, but that's what people wanted. And I never once made a monetary value off of it. I did make money off of it, but that was never my purpose going into it. If you want to make money off of it, it's going to be evident. If you want to do it just to have fun and entertain people, that's going to be evident. And a lot of people are drawn to genuinism.
Yeah.
So if you're honestly, you can suck at a game, but if you're genuinely laughing, having fun, and to be honest, especially in League of Legends community and Wild Rift, or any Riot game, or even like a lot of games, there's a very toxic community involved around it.
Yeah.
People always try to be better. People always try to be toxic. Da 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 da. Sometimes it's refreshing to just enjoy the game.
Yeah.
And a perfect example, Civ HD. I don't know if you ever heard of him or seen him. He
That's
was
an old name.
he was a gold streamer, and he still does stream, but he was gold. He was never pro, never good, never anything like that. But he genuinely had fun with the game. My favorite thing is the Ash Hunger games. They literally went out, and he's playing Vigar and someone else, and they're literally like, this Ash had like 10 deaths. This Ash bought Warmogs, but they were having so much fun. Let's get him, his little accent, everything. It all brought genuinely fun, not, the game doesn't have to be serious 24/7. And it was really refreshing, really rejuvenating.
That's a really good point because I typically don't. I watch the more entertaining content. I watch like the Ross
Mm-hmm.
docs or I you blew my mind with Civ HD. I used to watch this, so that threw me off. I was like, oh crap, I forgot about that guy. I love Trick 2G because he did this
Yep.
thing where he blended competitive with fun.
Mm-hmm.
And
Tyler One's doing that now. Tyler
yeah,
One has the T1 series. Like he went from being a really toxic person to being, I'm gonna get jungle to zero to challenger and jungle, and he made it entertaining, made it very educational. He went from being a toxic persona to actually like semi-toxic, but it was an entertaining persona, and a lot of people were drawn to that. He dressed up like Draven, spinning axes on his return. If he's there to make, obviously he's there to make money, but at the end of the day, most people that make money won't do that. Most people that want to make money aren't going to be entertaining, dress up or put on cosplays, and he does that very well as mixing the both. And a lot of it's mixing both because he started off as a genuine player where he just played Draven and it matched his persona, matched his person, and it was great.
Yeah.
My AirPod died.
Yeah. Tyler One had been somebody that was interesting to watch because he went from so toxic to being a huge part of Riot itself in theory because a lot of his fans, they play the game and were not too happy when he caught some flack from Riot, I suppose. So
I think there's a lot more going on behind the scenes that I don't want to speculate on, but I believe there was a more monumental value for Riot unbanning him than just being unbanned.
Exactly. Crap. Toxicity. We all have it. I think there are different levels of toxicity in the game because it's so highly competitive. It's a 20 to 30-minute time investment in a late game that sucks when you're losing. There's a difference between being stomped and having a good competitive game that's going back and forth. And I think shit talking is okay. 100% think shit talking is okay. There is definitely a line when you wish death and cancer on somebody's whole family. That's not okay, in my opinion.
Yeah.
You can do it. You have every right to say it, but how are you going to feel about yourself as a person? I definitely enjoy friendly shit talking, but luckily I haven't seen too much extreme toxism toxism, but it could be because 95%, because of my geographic location, 95% of the people that play the game are from a South American country, so
Yep.
I'm learning Spanish in the process.
I love friendly banter. I love it to death, and I believe that if you aren't friendly bantering with the other person, then you guys aren't competitive enough, and you guys don't need to be around me. I want someone to be able to shit talk me and me be like, you know what, you got the best of me today, but the next day I'm coming back. I'm like, bro, like what's going on? Like you need to go drink a beer. You need to relax. Like, are you okay? Like you aren't playing good. and I need them to take that on the chin. That's a military band train. That's, a lot of in the military, we just destroy each other, but that's just how we get by with things. So there are times where I need to dial it back a lot, don't get me wrong, but I firmly believe if you're not shit talking, then you're not competitive enough. Period.
This is a good transition into the surprise questions. Um, who is the best player on your team? Yeah, that's a spot. Uh,
But see, I would have to say our mid laner is pretty solid. Our mid laner is great. Our mid laner is incredible. But I feel like as far as like it's a team game. So you can't like one-on-one people. You can't take anybody's areas because at the end of the day, where he lacks, I make up for. Where I lack, he makes up for. And it really that's the whole point of finding a solid team is making up for other people's flaws or how you can accommodate that better. But as far as like overall just raw skill talent wise, and I'm trying not to be cocky, but like I'm in it. But like, and my 80 carries in it too. But I feel like my 80 carries half as good because I'm good, and I feel like he's in the solo lane. He's good, but there are times I utilize, like where I enable him. I would probably have to go with our mid laner. Our mid laner probably has to be just the overall raw, just better. I guess that would be my. But it's close between me and the 80 carry right there with it.
gotcha. I love how you did not include top or jungler. So, uh, sorry guys. No, I just I'm sorry. I just wanted to throw it off a little bit. I
Well, our top lane went from mid lane to jungle to top lane, and then our jungle is just relatively newer to the team. So
gotcha. So what you're saying is I have a shot.
a long shot.
Okay.
It's like the Star Wars shot where it's 2 meters wide, it's an exhaust tube.
um, yeah. I mean, I got a pretty good aim. I'm like a stormtrooper. So, um, yeah. So like I said, I just wanted to throw that one off a little bit, and it was a good transition into the whole toxicity shit talking because, like you said, one part of being on a team, especially a competitive team or a sports team, is you're going to shit talk in the locker room
Oh yeah,
because it's especially when it's friendly, right? There's a difference between like, hey, you suck at this game and I hate you, versus,
yeah.
and I did better than you out there.
I mean, an example of like our team shit talk would be like, "Hey jungle, I need a gank mid," and I'm like, "You know what? I'll come up too because our jungle is not the greatest at ganking or something like that." And it's just kind of he's like, "Oh really?" And I'm like, "Yeah, you did a fail gank bot lane. It results in nothing. Like you didn't even burn any subs." He's like, "Okay," and then it's kind of like motivating them. It's not really shit talking, but it's kind of like, "I'll come back. I'll show you what's up." It's all in good humor, and we all take it on the chin. And there are times where it has gone a little bit too far, where the person's like, "Hey, yeah, you need to stop. Like I'm already in a rough spot right now. Like my mindset's kind of whack." And then at that point, it no longer becomes shit talking. It's like we need to get your mind back on track. We need to enable you. How we're going to focus on you for a second, kind of get you back up there. And at that point, it becomes a team effort then instead of just shit talk and having fun. Because some games you can't shit talk because it breezes. Some games just like we're in the rut, guys. Like we gotta figure something out. And there's healthy times of shit talk. There's healthy times not shit talk.
Yeah, and that's great to be able to make that distinction because there's a point where people go too far and be like, "Hey, that's enough,"
Mm-hmm.
and it's like, "Okay, yeah, my bad. I might have overstepped there. I apologize. Let's bring this back to where we need it to be." What are the top three champions that you would suggest for your role to climb in solo queue?
Support?
Yeah,
Solo queue support?
yeah.
Vigar, Brand, Lux.
I haven't seen a lot of Vigar support yet. Once
Rakan. Rakan is really strong right now.
I can agree.
I would have to do 4.
I really like Rakan because of the fact that he's just so mobile and that engage is so potent when you can land it on like 3 people. Um,
If I had a choice to go back, I think you can really carry games a lot more on Rakan than what you could anybody else.
gotcha. Okay, is it his safety and mobility?
But he also does like a decent amount of damage, and I'm not gonna lie, I'd rather have a 5-man Rakan ult than a 5-man Brand ult.
Gotcha. Okay. just that immobilization and that crowd control. And you
Yeah.
know, he does provide that heal, which is kind of
Hmm.
underrated as well. Um, how do you feel about what are your typical boot enchantments? Are you gonna run
I've been a major fan of Locket,
okay.
major fan of Locket. But depending upon what you are, I mean, if you run a Soraka, Redemption, the way it goes, especially if you build an Artist Sensor, you build in, Staff of Flowing Water, you build in all that stuff, heals upon heals upon heals is like you do it more intense than what it would be on anybody else. But me, I play engage support, so I play Thresh. I do a lot of peeling. I give a lantern to somebody and they can come to me. I can't tell you how many times I throw a lantern and it saves somebody, they grab it to me and they come to me and I lock it, and then they even have another shield on top of that. So like, and then especially if I build, Zeke's Herald, or I don't know what the Guardian, the little green ball, I forget, all the names
Yeah,
change all
yeah.
the time, but like stuff like that, like a lot of it just like I'm a very like tanky person, and so like I mean, if my team's all engaged, I don't. I love going in when a Jarvan goes in and when someone else goes in and we're in the middle and we're in the thick of it. Pop a Locky, you give it to everybody, and it's crazy. But if we're an AOE team, if I'm healer, like it really all depends upon who you're playing. But most of the time, I'm an aggressive person. I love Locket. I'll tower dive all day long with Locket.
Okay. Okay, that's good to know because a lot of times I'll build rejuvenation. Um, one thing that I was completely shocked by, I just tried it out in ARAM to see if it worked. When you're dead, you can pop redemption.
Yes, you can 100%.
I had no idea. I was so shocked. I was like, "What just happened?" I think I found a bug.
Yep.
And then I
Nope. You
read it.
100% can.
Okay.
You can kill people with redemption. It does
Yeah, yeah.
damage too.
That. I just didn't know you could do it while you were dead. I was like, that can potentially be a game changer, I suppose.
Yeah.
You don't see a lot of after death effects currently in the game. Like when we see Karthus come in or Kog'Maw or something that can do some damage after death, that might change
Yeah.
that. Um, do you follow any content creators on Wild Rift, and if so, who?
I don't right now. I mean, just besides League of Legends, I do watch Summer Series. I do watch some things like that from time to time. I do watch it, just to get ideas, team comps, play styles a little bit. I don't really enjoy watching video games in essence. It usually puts me to sleep, I'm not gonna lie. Um, but if I'm going to be like, okay, I need to find someone, I need to be better. I do watch a lot of like League of Legends videos from back in the day, from whether it's Alphamu or Expresso when he streamed. And I'm not gonna sit here and watch hours of streams. I can't do that. That's not gonna improve me at all. But I will rewatch my VODs and I'll watch, oh, this guy's playing this, let me check it out, let me see this. And I do need to look at more do need to look at more Wild Rift streams, more Wild Rift YouTubes. I need to educate myself more because if I don't educate myself, I'm just going to plateau.
Yeah,
So I do got to look up. I do got to go in with an educational mindset. Be like, how can I be better? What are they doing different? Whatever it is. But there's a big difference between solo queue and
yeah,
team comp, and
yeah. You're
that's
absolutely
two
right.
different things.
That's something for me that I had to. I don't have the time to sit there all day and like just watch content upon content. So typically, what I'll do, like when I get home from work, if like a patch just dropped, I'll watch pro guides, pro build, or whatever,
Hmm.
and then just get a general patch rundown. Or while I'm at work on lunch working on the show, I'll go through the show notes and then compile some stuff together. But Will, my co-host, he was new to the game, so coming in, he really had no learning curve like I did. So I knew, or he had to learn whatever. He didn't have the experience that I did, so I didn't feel
Yeah.
like I really needed to learn how to play the game. I just needed to learn how to adapt to the current game. So he watches a lot of Hell's Wild Rift, um, and it was just interesting having that mindset. I'm like, okay, yeah, that's right. There are new people that play this game. It's not a
Yeah.
11, 12-year-old game. Um, so it's I don't know. I guess I watched a little bit of Hell's, a lot of pro builds or pro guides. I don't know why I keep calling it pro builds, pro guides on YouTube, and then I'll watch It's Stewart when I can, like watch stream during the day at work. But people are elitist when it comes to League of Legends. Do you think your skill level exceeds your rank, like your individual? Do you? Because you're Diamond 2, but people would crap when you'd be like, bro, why are you looking at competitive? You're not even Grandmaster.
No, 100%, 100% skill usually always outranks rank, 100%. You can honestly ask anybody in the team, anybody in my Discord, hey, what do you think the support, bear is? And they'll be like, dude, like he needs to be like at least like master, grandmaster, challenger, like not even joking. And I mean, they could even say that for me and my bot lane. It's just like, yeah, him and Jaden, like I don't understand why they're diamond. And I mean, that has a lot to do with it, but at the same time, like I said, there's just some games that are just unwinnable. And there's some people who deserve to be in the rank they're at. Don't get me wrong, but nearly, 8 times out of 10, most people will always perform better at the skill rank than what they are if they're a confident player. And the hardest thing is just trying to climb, especially right now with, I expressed you earlier, Diamond right now. We don't know what's going on. 3 days ago, I was earning, 15, 16, 17 LP a game and losing 10. Now I'm winning 10, losing 15. So I mean, nothing happened. Nothing changed within the day. I didn't go on like a 9 game lose streak. I would win like 4 or 5 games, lose like 1 and 2, and just kind of chill. Like nothing's really changed. But stuff like that is like an example of why people who are a higher, who should be performing at a higher rank aren't there yet because of certain situations. Especially, I mean, I don't know if you pay attention to Reddit all today. A lot of people are getting silvers or unranked or bronze or golds or plats in their diamond master or grandmaster games. It's kind of really questionable what's going on right now. So, I mean, you can't put your skill based upon somebody else in essence. You know what I'm saying? I'm a confident player. I could be grandmaster percentage challenges and on support alone. But at the same time, like, I mean, I know where my skill cap's at. I know where I fall. I know where I should stay, but at the same time, like, it also is dependent upon the game. I have 4 other people that it's dependent upon too. And as a support, like I said, each thing has a different perks and bonuses to it. I've recently this week just started picking up mid lane. I'm like, you know what, I'm gonna just play mid and start trying to solo carry games. Because even though I'm a better support, I can't impact the game quite as much as mid lane as a solo support.
Um, that's a very good point that you brought up, or a very valid point. I I'm Emerald, and I mean Emerald's. I'd say it's an okay rank. It's not terribly impressive, but I'd say it's in the higher tier of the ranks available. And I've been thrown into master tier, like master games, as a jungle, and I know I'm not going to perform as well as a master jungle, which that kind of cripples the team because I don't know that I'm playing with masters until we're on that loading screen. So I might pick something like Lee Sin and think I can play a super aggressive when in reality I should be playing something tanky like a Mundo or a Nunu and just be that front line plug and play character.
So
Where
I will tell you this, not to interrupt or anything like that. I will tell you this: you need to be more confident as a player, regardless of who you're playing up against, regardless upon anything. Because if you didn't see those loading screens, would your confidence changed?
hmm,
You see what I'm saying? So
yeah,
you ultimately let colors change how you're going to play.
that's a good point.
Play
Um,
your game, play what you're going to do, and at the end of the day, you're not playing. And when people say certain champions counter certain champions, nah, I don't. Yeah, they made you better. Who cares? If I'm outsmarting you, I'm outsmarting you, because you can take like, let's hypothetically say a Wukong, someone who plays Wukong Challenger, right? And you put them up against a counter champion. Who would be a counter champion? Like Vayne or Gal, somebody where like, it's just going to be like evident, like, oh, damn, Wukong's not going to do that well in this matchup at all. But you put the challenger on Wukong and you put the bronze on the counterplay. Who do you think is going to win?
it's going to be the challenger every time.
Exactly. So that's what I'm saying. It's not so much of like, oh, this champion does better than me. I don't buy that. That's a load of horse crap. If you're going in with the mindset of I've already lost this matchup because of a character, no. That person could be just the dumbest person in the world. All you gotta do is outsmart them. You gotta be better than the player, better than the human, not the champion. You
Yeah,
know?
and that's kind of where I was. I guess I was coming from the position of I know I chances are I'm not going to be a better player than that other person. So could I have played something maybe a little bit more team centric? to negate some of that potential damage that's going to come in.
See,
I don't.
you're crippling yourself. You're not playing to the best of your potential of what you think. You know what I'm saying? The moment you got on that loading screen, the moment you saw, your emerald border, but you saw those purple borders, you saw the blue borders, like, bruh, I'm not gonna be able to play well. What do you mean? You haven't gone on the rift
Fair.
yet. You don't even know people are, and you already counted it up as a loss. You can't do that.
That's fair.
You got to be like, you know what? I may be slightly outclassed, but I'm gonna prove something. I'm playing Lee Sin. What do I have in my arsenal that can make me better? You want to know what? I have a Q that has an execute. I can do a higher smite than he does every time if I could time it right. And to be honest, if you don't do those Q smites, who else? Who's to blame? It's not that he's master. It's because you weren't mechanically sound enough.
Yep.
In essence, you see what I'm saying? So it's not so much of like, oh, I'm not going to play well. You gotta be like, I'm gonna play my game, and you know what? If I play the best of my ability and I can leave this game like, you know what, I'm happy with my performance, and be like, you know what, I just got outclassed. Okay, but don't go in and be like, I'm playing up against masters. This is going to be the hardest game of my life. No, you're already at a
You already
disadvantage
lost.
on yourself, and you did that. No one else did.
You're
You
right.
see?
See, this is sometimes why you need people who are more experienced. Well, have that different mindset to just crack you over the head and be like, "Hey, dummy, you already know this stuff, but you're not applying it."
Yeah, you literally let colors change the outcome of that game.
You're right. You're right. I appreciate that. I really do. That's definitely going to make me rethink the way that I approach the game. As soon as I lock in, I'm just closing my eyes throughout the whole thing until I hear
No,
what.
I'm not gonna lie. If I lock in and I see a whole bunch of golds and silvers on my team, I'm like, oh.
Yeah.
No. It's different. It's coming from a higher standpoint down than what it is going from down to up.
Gotcha. Yeah, because that onus is on you at that point to carry the game. I guess the last question I have for you, because it's getting late for us over here on the East Coast. You know what? I think you've already answered it because I was going to say, what would you say to those people that would judge you based on your rank, knowing that you're in a competitive scene, which is kind of
I don't care.
last question. I wrote these really late last night, so
No, you're good. I mean, I really don't care. I don't care, and that's the biggest thing. Do not care what people think. And as I get older and mature as an adult, I care less and less about what people think. And it goes through a lot of what I went through in my personal life. And honestly, I don't. And this goes outside of league. I'm a very, very. I will give the shirt off my back. I will give my last dollar to somebody. I would do that, and I'm learning to say no because I used to be scared of what people used to think of me. To be honest, I don't care. This is my one life. I'm gonna be happy with it, right? So this is my one game I'm playing, and if people are gonna be mad at me, I don't care if people are like, oh, you know what, he's a diamond player, but he's playing in a pro scene right now. He doesn't belong here. I don't care. You want to know why? Because I'm here. You're not. Like, what's up? I'm making money from it. I'm here. I'm pushing myself to the boundaries as far as where you're okay with where you're at. Who says the silver can't, besides the League of Legends rule, who says the silver can't be on a pro team? Who says that? You? Okay.
if
You,
you
you see what I'm saying?
if you look at the Russian scene, you definitely know that a silver could probably play on a professional League of Legends team.
Yeah. And I mean, to be honest, you could be a silver player and go play in a different area, different region. I was going to call out some people. I'm not going to do that. But you could go to different regions and perform exceptionally, but not
Well,
perform exceptionally at Worlds.
I was taking a shot specifically the team Victus or whatever that had like the lowest. Or it was a world record for fastest loss at like
The
13
the
minutes pro game.
the female team.
Yes. Yep.
I will 100% say you can be in the pro scene. You can be a low rank. Example right now, look at Faker solo queue.
Yep.
Faker is renowned, the greatest player in the world. He has skins after skins after skins literally made after him. He can literally do whatever he wants. He gets paid millions of dollars. And where is he at right now? He's probably sitting D1, D2. Why? Because he's probably focused on other accounts. He's probably focused on team practices. He's probably not focused on grinding solo queue. So as far as where you guys are trying to put in effort, like, you know what, he's a diamond player. He shouldn't be in the pro scene. You know I'm a diamond player, but you don't know how many games I've actually played with the team offline, how many scrims I got through, how many practices I got through, how many VOD reviews I go to. All that time I could be spent grinding my rank and getting higher. But no, my rank is lacking because I'm bettering myself with the team. And so I really don't care what people think about my rank. I really don't. Obviously I want to get better. Obviously I would like to be number one challenger. Obviously I would like all that. That's my goals. But just because my goals, you shouldn't judge me that I'm not attaining my goals when right now my goal is to be on a competitive team and be out there, be on TV, be on Twitch, be on, League of Legends main screen. I want to be flying out to LA and get paid for a hotel and do all this. I want to have I want to have a jersey with my name on the back. I want to have people buy my jersey, be like, I love him. He's awesome. I want that. And I don't care if I'm challenger. I don't care if I'm diamond. I don't care if I'm master. I don't care if I'm emerald. I really don't care, because at the end of the day, I'm achieving a goal that I want to achieve.
Some people might listen to you say that, or some of the other things that you might have said on the stream and be like, oh, this guy's just cocky. But I think there is a distinction between. I'm a big hip hop fan, and Jadakiss said, I'm not cocky, I'm confident. So when you tell me I'm the best,
Yes.
compliment. Um, it's a very probably a really good mindset to have, and I don't think you really exude any cockiness. I mean, maybe a little bit, but I mean, you have to you have to believe that you're the best in the
Yes.
world, you're gonna win.
Yeah, you have there has to be a healthy level of confidence. And me
Yeah.
being, me being the athlete I was in high school, me being the athlete I was in college, me being the athlete I was in the Navy, me being a lot of what I am in the Navy, there's a lot of confidence there's a lot of cockiness that came with it, but people didn't want to be my friend. People didn't want to talk to me because it was just me, 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 me. It was the Jordan show, it was the Tammy show, it was the Bear show. No one didn't want to play with me. And to be honest, when I streamed, I didn't have very many friends. I streamed, so I had people want to play with me on stream, but once they really got to know me, they realized he's just some snub, and no one really liked that. And that was a hard lesson to learn. So now I'm at the point where I can equally balance out confidence and cockiness, because no one likes the cocky person, but everybody loves a confident person.
Yep.
And so I'm not going to lie, it helps with your gameplay. I'm playing Thresh. People are like, oh, you're picking Thresh in this matchup, you're not winning. I'm top 200 Thresh. I'm top 100 Thresh. Okay, I will land these hooks. I will play this right. You're playing the Leona. Yeah, you want to know what? That Leona's not going to jump on you because the moment she eats, I'm flaying her. Or you're not good enough for that. Okay, and then that's it. I'm not going to sit here. I'm not going to try to convince him. I'm just going to show him.
Prove me I'm right.
And yeah, and the greatest compliment anybody could, and I talk to my AD carry about this all the time. The greatest compliment that they can give us is camping our lane. The greatest compliment they can give us is banning out our champions. I'm like, if they send 3 people down, I'm like, bring more. You need more. We're killing 2 of them. Bring more. Okay, they're bringing out 4. You know what? We took 1. You guys got to bring 5. Like, we're turning it around. That's the biggest compliment that they can give us. He gets annoyed. He gets mad. Why can't our solo team help us? Why can't it? I don't care about them, dude. I don't care. If we cannot turn a 3v2 around, we are not the best bot lane. I'm sorry. We aren't. And to be honest, that's the greatest compliment the enemy team can give us, is they need help because they can't beat us on their own. So they need help to win us.
That is a really good mindset. That is a really good mindset to have.
Yeah, I bring it on. They're like, hey, the jungler's coming down. I'm like, we're killing them. We're killing them. The moment we see them on the map, hey, the jungler's in bot side river. Bring them. I have ignite. I have ignite. I have lantern. I have my hook. I have my ult. We're killing them. They're enemy laners are at half health. We are killing these guys. I do not care. Bring him. I'm literally telling that to my team. I'm like, you want us to counter gank? No, go dive top lane. Go get rift. Go do something else. We got this. And that's not a cocky mentality. That's a very confident mentality. And there are times where it fails. There are times where it backfires. We just die. They're like, oh man, you died. You know what? You still got rift off that. You still died top lane. If you would have came down, it would have just, you would have just wasted your time there. Either we turn around or we don't.
So before we wrap up, I want to hit 2 more things real quick, and I typically choose my words very carefully.
I'm a straight shooter. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, that's how I be. Not if, but when you go pro, come back on the show, and when you go pro and I buy a jersey, you have to sign it.
I'll give you a signed jersey for free.
Awesome, good. And when I hit diamond, I will send you a message and be like, I guess I'm not terrible.
You're not terrible now.
No.
Don't think like that. If you're walking in a game, be like, man, I guess I'm all right. No, man. You think I got to where I'm at thinking I'm all right? You think I played league? You think I started streaming? You think I joined the Navy because I thought I was all right? I mean, this goes beyond life. You got to walk in with your chest up and your head high, and you
Gotcha.
just got not care what people think, man. Who cares if they think you're emerald, gold, plat? I don't care. The game, it's a game. It's meant to
You're
be played for fun.
I really appreciate that. You come on to talk about a video game and you end up learning life lessons. So, uh, I definitely appreciate you coming on. It's late here. Do you want to plug your social media real quick?
I so I deleted my Instagram. I
Good,
don't really use Twitter.
good.
I have a TikTok and it's for my dog.
Uh,
I have a Facebook, I have a Twitch. I mean, people want to add me on Wild Rift. I mean, I can send you my name after this. You can plug it in. Yeah, my recent life lesson I've been learning is trying to live less through the screen and more through my eyes. So that's the biggest thing for me is I'm not taking pictures everywhere I go. I'm not taking videos everywhere I go. I may take a video here or there, but if I go to a concert, my phone's not up in the air. My eyes are on stage. I'm enjoying the moment, and so I don't really have a lot of social medias in essence. But I do have a Twitch. I do have and I don't. I really want to start streaming on there, but I can't because I can't be an entertain. Where'd he
uh,
go?
do we drop? Do we drop?
Oh no, we're back.
Oh, sorry.
Um,
Sorry.
I can't be an entertainer as far as reading the chat, doing transitions, doing fun things because I only have my phone right now. But once I get my computer up and running, you best believe I'm beyond there. We're gonna be having more drunk nights. We're gonna be having more scary movie, scary game nights where you're gonna see me just get very, very, very mad because I got scared out of my mind. But yeah, that's the only social media I would have is my Facebook. I mean, I do have a Facebook gaming thing. If you want any of that, just hit me off offline and I'll definitely share all that. But
Sure.
I'm not a big social media person.
Okay. Hey, fair enough. To each their own. But I will definitely link all that stuff down in the description. If you guys enjoy this content, subscribe, and do all that good stuff. And we will see you on the Rift. Thanks for joining me, man.
Anytime, man. Have a good one.
All right, you too.